Hey everyone! Don't miss this story. Sophie, driven by curiosity, left an unfinished question, traversed ancient alleys, and found a mysterious room. Inside, some ladies were distributing letters, then paused and stared up unseen outsider Sophie. Ladies, used to being followed, surprisingly showed no hostility towards Sophie. Instead, they answered her curious glances with the revelation that those letters weren't written by Juliet. In fact, they were penned by a group known as Juliet's Secretaries, each specializing in certain issues. Some tackled love dilemmas like expert match. Others were experts in mediating family feuds, turning quarrels into peace talks. What's truly admirable is that they did this out of a pure love for helping others, expecting nothing in return. Sophie had always been enchanted by this warm heart. Coinciding with her unemployment, she joined this unique team after careful thought, finding an old letter on her first day. The letter was yellowed and fragile, with ink smudged beyond recognition, as if it had lived through countless stores over the years. After careful examination, a love story from half a century ago began to surface. The letter was from Claire, who fell deeply in love with the boy deemed unsuitable by her parents in her youth. They planned to elope, but at the last moment, Claire chickened out, and this letter mysteriously slipped into a crack in the bricks, remaining undiscovered for 50 years, leaving the store's ending locked away. The Juliet secretaries felt uneasy. Despite differing views, they seemed to concur in abandoning this path, as 50 years was too long. Claire may have a family now. It's even uncertain if she's alive. A hasty reply may lead to nothing, but Sophie disagreed. Gazing at the traces of her own life, it felt like she saw a younger girl capturing her secrets on paper. In her view, time fades memories, but not necessarily obsessions. Perhaps the confider still waits silently for a late reply somewhere. Just like the countless unsent whispers guarded by them at that moment. That night, moonlight streamed through curtains. Sophie sat, fingertips caressing yellowed paper, her writer's mind brimming with inspiration. She infused Juliet's passion and courage for love into her writing, each word brimming with encouragement for Claire's pursuit of true love. A week after the reply was sent, on a dew morning, a calm yet cool young man quietly followed the ladies into the mysterious room. Before anyone could respond, he said he was Claire's grandson. Sophie's heart skipped a beat. She was interrupted just as she was going to ask about her grandmother. He glared at everyone and demanded, "Who told you to stick your noses in?" The chill washed over Sophie instantly. A cold water splash, plunging the room's mood into icy silence, and Sophie's hopeful bubble burst into anxious dread. Setting aside that her grandmother missed the date, Sophie couldn't help but ponder whether he held a grudge against her. After 50 years, who could guarantee that the young man hadn't started a family, or even that he was still alive? Faced with the young man's questions, Sophie was at a loss for words. Seeing him leave after a threat, she chased after him, unwilling to accept it. Charlie, simmering with suppressed anger, led the way, his face filled with disdain. To her, the hope that her grandmother clung to for half a century was merely a romanticized dream. If reality matched the old lady's expectations, it might just end beautifully. But what if the truth was harsh? How would her grandmother cope with such a loss? She thought her frankness would make Sophie back off, not knowing she had underestimated her tenacity. Sophie silently trailed Charlie through the alleys, finding herself once again at Juliet's house. An elderly woman with white hair appeared. It was Claire. Seeing her coming, Sophie mustered courage to introduce herself. She candidly stated that the reply letter was her creation. "I think you'd enjoy meeting me." Charlie stood frozen in front of Claire, silently bearing Sophie's subtle jabs. The secretaries of Juliet sat around the dining table at Ingval's invitation. After thanking Sophie, Claire, during a brief moment of silence, started to share her past love story with that charming and handsome young man. Her words were filled with nostalgia and longing, moving Charlie deeply. Knowing she couldn't prevent her grandmother's feelings, she chose to respect the present reality and gave up any fantasies of persuading her to return. Little did she know that the very person who had stirred her grandmother's memories, Sophie, would propose to join them in the search for Lorenzo. Despite her reluctance, reality left her no choice. Her grandmother happily agreed to Sophie joining the love-seeking journey. The three soon found the first Lorenzo, but Claire merely shook her head after meeting the old man's gaze. After one night at the inn, Sophie searched for info and was taken aback to discover there were 74 men named Lorenzo within 100 kilometers. Charlie felt defeated by this outcome and complained about its ridiculousness while the two girls completely ignored. They chatted about the plans ahead, completely leaving Charlie out of the conversation. It was this attitude that fueled Charlie's frustration with Sophie's meddling. Days flew by, and before they knew it, the next day had arrived. Times Earl, following a carefully planned route, the trio found 3 elderly men, a street chess retiree, a flashy local playboy, and a mansion-owning tycoon. These people had varied jobs and traits, but sadly their desired Claire wasn't among them. Each disappointing encounter inevitably took a toll on Claire's spirits. What frustrated her more was the tense atmosphere between Charlie and Sophie. At the dinner table, with the intention of easing the tensions between them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. For more amazing stories, click subscribe.